What's going on, everybody? My name is Mike and welcome back to AXC Garage. Today got another episode on our 21 Acura TLX A-Spec. On the last episode you saw us went ahead and put on a factory OEM body kit. And today we're going back to the dyno. All right, 30 minutes later, we are here. Let's go ahead and put a car on the dyno. All right, guys, so we got the car in the dyno, about to get strapped up, ready to go. What do you guys say?
I think it's gonna be fun, man. Yeah, I think it's gonna make good power.
So with a downpipe, what you guys thinking?
I think downpipe, no tune. I'm gonna say maybe 10 horsepower. It's not a straight pipe; it's a high flow cat. So.
What about you, Miguel?
10 to 12. I think DJ's putting in VSA maintenance mode, and then we're gonna take a couple pulls after we get strapped in. Alright, so we got our baseline with just a downpipe. Now we're going to see if what K&N claims is true, and we're going to just pop a drop-in filter into the stock air box and then do another couple pulls and see what we get. Let's see.
So hopefully now with the glass.
That's definitely for sure. I'm gonna just say 30, maybe 30. It feels like 30 when you hear it.
guys, we're back in the shop. We got a few things we want to work on and also a few questions that we need answer to. One of the major questions was, hey, does a drop-in engine air filter from K&N increase any horsepower? And on dyno testing, we are proving that it does increase horsepower. So today we want to find out the weight difference between the 20-inch Boston wheel and the factory 19-inch OEM wheel. And also, does it impact horsepower reading on the dyno? Well, let's find out. Let's go and get the car up in the air and get the wheels off. Alright guys, here we have the 20x9 Vossen HF5 wheels, and over here we have the 19x8.5 factory OEM wheels. Let's go ahead and put them on the scale and see what we got. Alright guys, moment of truth, 20x9 Vossen HF5 wheels along with Toyo tires. 53.6 pounds. And guys, you guys won't believe this, 60.2 pounds for the OEM factory 19-inch wheels. Wow! Just because the OEM wheel result is so shocking, I have no choice but to bring in the back wheels to test out and see how much it weighs. So the back wheel is 20x10.5 with a 275 tires. Now the OEM wheels is 19x8.5 with a 255. Take a look at the result. 57.8 pounds versus stock 60.2 pounds. So nearly 2.4 pounds lighter on the wheels that somewhat bigger, I would say, and wider. That is shocking. Guys, there you have it. 19-inch OEM wheel versus Vossen 20-inch HF5. Hence for the hybrid forged design, is definitely give us some weight saving. Now let's go ahead and put it on the stock wheels and head over to the dyno. Guys, before we head over to the dyno, let's take a look at the 19 OEM factory wheel versus the Vossen HF5. I'm really digging that look. Alright guys, so we are back in the dyno with Javi and also with TJ right over there. We're getting the dyno all set up, get the car strapped down. Let's go make a couple of pulls. Alright guys, so on the first pull we got 243 horsepower and then 257 foot-pound of torque with the stock wheels. We'll go ahead and do another pull just to see if the number is consistent. So Javi, what are you working on right now?
Well, right now I'm working on the old tune that we already had made last time. I'm just checking it over before we flash it, but we'll do one more pull stock tune.
Alright guys, you guys have seen the stock wheels with the dyno pull, and the number's pretty consistent with the Vossen wheels. Now we got something under our sleeve. We got ourselves a K tuner. Javi is downloading the tune right now, so I Let's see what that brings us in terms of horsepower and torque. So TJ, what do you think?
I think we're gonna make a little bit of power.
What do you think we make?
We're at 244. I'm gonna say, let's say 264. 20 horsepower jump.
264. Okay. What about torque?
Torque?
I think we're like what's 270 or 250 something.
We're at 270 right now. So I'm gonna say we're gonna be 290, maybe 300. We'll see. I'd say 265, 290.
Yeah, those are great numbers. So, well, let's in a few minutes we'll find out. Alright guys, on the first pull with the K-Tuner, 13 horsepower and 30 foot-pound of torque. We'll do a couple more runs and see what we got. Alright guys, on the last pull, we'll do something fun here. We're actually going to pull out the engine air filter and see if we're going to increase any horsepower. T is going to pull the engine air filter out, and the fact we're blowing air directly to it. And we want to see if that's going to gain any horsepower and torque. What are we doing here?
Well, we're taking it for a spin, so to make sure everything's okay after the dyno. Normally I just watch the air fuels, make sure everything's okay, and then knock control as well. Some of these cars like to pick up knock control percentage is pretty high, so try to keep it as low as possible. But also, you want to try to keep it low, but you want to try to make some power as well. But it's just it gets a little tricky. So.
Alright guys, we're back in the shop. Let's recap some of the results. But before we do that, we really just want to point it out. Everything that we do here is only for testing purposes. We don't recommend you do that to your car. You get that could affect your warranty. I got some notes on my phone. Let's go over some of the results. Alright, I'm going to take you guys back to episode number 1 where we have an all-stock 2-liter turbo engine, 238 horsepower, and 254 foot-pound of torque. Then we went back to the dyno on this episode with a set of Boston wheels. Remember the front wheels is 8 pounds lighter than OEM wheels, and also with the RV6 Catted Downpipe. The result is 243 horsepower and 264 foot-pound of torque. Right after that, we went ahead and dropped in a K&N engine air filter, 247 horsepower and 264 foot-pound of torque, with 4 horsepower gain by just dropping the engine air filter in. Then we went back to the dyno again with the stock wheels, downpipe, and a K&N engine air filter, 244 horsepower and 258 foot-pound of torque. And we went back to the dyno now at this point with the K-tuner on top of the stock wheel, downpipe, and also the K&N engine air filter, 257 horsepower and 301 foot-pound of torque. And the fun part hasn't ended yet. And just for fun, we went ahead to remove the engine air filter element housing, and the result is 248 horsepower and 292 foot-pound of torque. Lost almost 9 horsepower and 9 foot-pound of torque. And on the very last dyno, we went back with the Boston wheel, RV6 Catted Downpipe, K&N Drop-In Engine Air Filter, and also the K-tuner. And the result is 260 horsepower and 306 foot-pound of torque. So the end result with all these mods, 22 horsepower and 52 foot-pound of torque. I personally think that's pretty good. Drop a comment below and let us know what you think. This is it for the video, guys. I hope you guys really like it. It took us almost 5 weeks to complete these videos. As always, thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you guys on the next one.